What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about who walks your journey. Our title of the message is who walks your journey. Nani utembea kwa safari yako? Ama nani utembea na wewe kwa safari yako? Bwana asifiwe. I'm sure by now people are thinking of my friends, my colleagues at work. Those are not the people I'm talking about. They could be what I'm talking about. Inaweza kuwa rafiki yako wa karibu ndio ninaongelelea saa hii, na anaweza kuwa sio yeye kama hata kuwa na the qualities that I'm talking about. Bwana asifiwe. In life, you are supposed to have 3 friends. So many 3 friends. Who are these friends? Majina yao ya those friends, wa kwanza jina yake inafaa kuanza na S. Andika S mahali. Wa pili jina yake inafaa kuanza na J. J for John. Wa tatu jina yake inafaa kuanza na N. Bwana asifiwe. So your friends are supposed to be S, J and N. Kama uko na marafiki wa Q, W, throw them away. They are not good friends. Stick to the S, J and N. Bwana asifiwe. I promised I would tell you why I'm the preacher today. Bwana asifiwe. When I was growing up, I grew up in Masailand. There was a rule in my home from my father. My father would not call you by your Grace ni first name ama ni second, by your first name. He would not call us by our first names. He would only call us by the second name. Maloi, Nashibae, those are our names. And his rule was, if he called any name, you are supposed to answer. Bwana asifiwe. Regardless of whether he is calling you or not. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Even if he calls my brother and you are the one who is there, you go. You be arguing, you are not the brother when you are there. But you are not supposed to keep quiet. Bwana asifiwe. So, on Sunday when I left church, our overseer called and said, you will be the preacher on Sunday. Bwana asifiwe. I had no time to say I'm not a good preacher. I had no time to say anything. Bwana asifiwe. And that is why I'm the preacher today. Just like my father did, he said, Nikitana kuja, be giving complaints when you're here. Bwana asifiwe. So I'm giving complaints when I'm here. Am I complaining? No, I'm not complaining. I'm only appreciating the opportunity that he has given me as the head of the church. It's an honor. Bwana asifiwe. I'm sure many of you are wishing to be here. Yeah, it's a golden opportunity that I'm here. It's not every other place that you can have an opportunity to be here, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Bwana asifiwe. So back to our friends. Were S, J, and N. And the first friend is called Samwel. Bwana asifiwe. Nimesema kama kuna marafiki wengine wenye wanaanza na Q, W, R, forget about them. Just stick to these 3 friends, S, J, and N. The first friend is called Samwel. And I want us to read 1 Samuel 16, 11 to 13. 1 Samuel 16, 11 to 13. Ukiweka kwa Kiswahili itakuwa vizuri zaidi. Kisha Samueli akamwambia Yese, watoto wako wote wapo hapa? Naye akasema, amesalia mdogo wao, na tazama, anawachunga kondoo. Basi Samueli akamwambia Yese, tuma mtu amlete, kwa sababu sitaondoka hadi atakapokuja huku. Bwana asifiwe. We know the story of Samuel when he was sent at Jesse's place. And Jesse alikuwa na several sons. We know the story, eh? And when Samuel was to anoint one of the sons, all the sons passed by, and Samuel said, sio huyo, until the time aliuliza, are all your sons here? Na Yese akasema, one of the sons is not there, who was David. So we know the story. Finally, David akaja kutoka kuchunga kondoo, and he was anointed. Bwana asifiwe. Why am I saying Samuel is one of the best friends? Because Samuel in your life makes you realize yourself. Like what the overseer did. He made me realize myself. I don't know whether you have a friend who has ever made you realize yourself. Sijui kama una rafiki yeyote amewahi fanya ukajijua. Mko nao? How many of us have such friends? Si lazima aanze na S, juu nimesema sasa juu ya S hamtakubali. Hata kama anaanza na K. You have such a friend that made you realize yourself. Ninajua mtasema, oh, Samuel was sent by God. Oh, Samuel hakuwa na otherwise, but Samuel had otherwise. Bwana asifiwe. When you read the whole of that text, yenye sitaki tusome, tukisoma tutachukua muda mrefu, you will know that Samuel was afraid of Saul. Na alikuwa anaogopa Saul anaweza kumuua akienda ku anoint nani? David. So you know the story. So alikuwa na option ya kusema sitaenda ku anoint one of Jesse's sons because I'm fearing. See, that was a good excuse. Number 2, the king. We know the king. The king is like the president today. There is bribery. Everywhere there is bribery. Samuel angekuwa ata bribed. Anoint another son apart from David. See, alikuwa na hiyo option. Number 3, David had an option, Samuel had an option ya kutoka kwa Jesse kama haja anoint mtu yoyote. You know why? All the brothers walikuwa wamepita hapo na kukasemekana there is only one son that is remaining mwenye ako malishoni. And by then there were no mobile phones. Si ni kweli? So I'm very sure huyu David hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua exactly where he's taking care of the sheep. So it took time for David to be called from wherever he was to come. Bwana asifiwe. So Samuel alikuwa na option, angesema this is taking too long. I can go and come next time or anoint somebody from another family. So this is a good friend. Why? He was patient. He risks his own life for David. Bwana asifiwe. Would you like to have a friend like Samuel? Who is your Samuel in your life? Think about it. It could be your sibling. It could be your parent. It could be a friend. It could be anything. But we need to have a Samuel in our life. Someone who can be patient enough. Akungoje utoke mahali huko. Amepewa message yako, umepromotiwa ama umeitiwa kazi mahali fulani. Anakuja kwenyu, anakaa anakungojea. Pengine ulienda ushago, angoje utoke ushago ufike ndiye akupatie the information. Yeye mwenyewe anataka kuuawa kwa sababu watu wengine wanataka hiyo post yenye anakupatia. But anavumilia, anasema I will do all it takes until I anoint David. Until I anoint you. Think about that, friend. If you don't have one, pray that God gives you one. I already have one. Mimi sina shida. Nani anaona nikiwa na shida? I don't have a problem. I already have one. Bwana asifiwe. You can also have one. And you can also be Samuel to somebody else. It is not a must for someone to be Samuel in your life. You can also be Samuel in another person's life. Be truthful. When given someone's information, take it the way you've been sent. Wacha kwenda kumarinate, weke vitu zingine zako. Bwana asifiwe. Say it as it is. Ukitumwa kwa orphans, we hear msaada inatumwa kutoka ngambo iletewe some homes. Situmesikia hizo vitu. And these people don't take the msaada to the homes. Hawapelekagi hizo msaada kwa hizo nyumba za watoto. Situmesikia hizo vitu. Are you a good Samuel in that situation? You are not. So it's either you get a Samuel in your life or you become a Samuel in someone else's life. And when we go home, please read the whole story from 1 Samuel 16:1 all the way down. Number 2 friend. Tulisema number 2 friend jina yake inaanza na J. And who is this J? J is Jonathan. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a Jonathan in your life? Let's read 1 Samuel 18. Ukiweka kwa Kiswahili itakuwa vizuri zaidi. 1 Samuel 18. First Samuel 18, 1-4. Ikawa Daudi alipokwisha sema na Sauli, roho ya Yonathani ikaambatana na roho ya Daudi. Yonathani akampenda kama roho yake mwenyewe. Sauli akamtoa siku ile, wala hakumwacha arudi tena nyumbani kwa baba yake. Nao Yonathani na Daudi wakaahidiana kwa kuwa alimpenda kama roho yake mwenyewe. Ndipo Yonathani alivua joho alilokuwa amelivaa, akampa Daudi na mavazi yake, hata na upanga wake, pia na upinde wake, na pia mshipa wake. Let me read in English. Kiswahili saa ingine pia si rahisi. After David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. From that day, Saul kept David with him and did not let him return to his father's house. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. Jonathan took off the robe he was wearing and gave it to David, along with his tunic and even his sword, his bow and his belt. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a friend that loves you? Think about a wife. I am sure right now wanaume tuko ndani ya bibi. No, that is not the person I'm talking about. I'm sure right now women tuko kwa baba nani. No, that is not the person I'm talking about today. Do you have somebody who loves you with no strings attached? You see, your husband loves you because you are his wife. Sindio? Nimesema husband. Your wife loves you because wewe ni bibi yake, isn't it? That is not the love I'm talking about. I'm talking about the love of a stranger, which is genuine. Do you have such a friend? Who? Baba yake anataka kukuua wewe, na wewe ni mtoto wa huyo anataka kuuana, but you are standing with a stranger. Bwana asifiwe. Imagine this. Your father is a king, and another king is coming up, who is David. Instead of you supporting your own father Saul, you are supporting David, which is going against your father's will. Munashika hiyo story? Ama ninaeka tongue twister? Are you sharing the story? Your father is a king. Tuseme baba yako ni Ruto, eh? Lakini wewe una support Raila. Your father is Ruto, remember? And you are supporting Raila. Do you think it's easy? It is not easy at all, at all, at all. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of love for somebody to do that. Tunaambiwa, Jonathan became one with David. He loved David so much to a point he removed the tunic that he was wearing na akampatia his sword and his robe. Tumesikia hivyo? Do you think that is easy? He even went further. Hivyo si hakufanya hivyo peke yake. Let's read 1 Samuel 23:16. 1 Samuel 23:16. Ninaharakisha kidogo manake tumeambiwa wakati haupo kwa upande wetu, eh? First Samuel 23 from 16. And Saul's son Jonathan went to David at Horesh and helped him find strength in the Lord. Please underline, kama Bible ni yako, ni wewe umenunua, please underline, he helped him find strength in God. Underline kabisa na Bible ya red. I have given you permission to underline, ni yako. Underline that Jonathan went to David at Horesh and helped him find strength in the Lord. Don't be afraid, he said. My father Saul will not lay a hand on you. You will be king over Israel, and I'll be second to you. Even my father Saul knows this. The two of them made a covenant before the Lord, and Jonathan went home, but David remained at Horesh. Bwana asifiwe. There is something I want to say here. If you read the whole text, Saul alikuwa ametuma watu wengi sana watafute David wamuue. Si ni kweli? It's only that I don't want to read the whole text because it's a long text. Alikuwa ametafuta David amuue. Na David akahama from one point to another, and finally he came to this place called Horesh. Na akaambia Jonathan mahali yeye yako. Remember Jonathan ni mtoto wa mwenye anamtafuta amuue. Bwana asifiwe. I want you to get something here. Jonathan is the son of Saul who is looking for David. Lakini David anaambia Jonathan mahali yako. And Jonathan comes, of course akiwa amejificha. And he helps David find strength in the Lord. Bwana asifiwe. Hebu fikiria uko kwa shida, umejificha wewe. Wale wanakutafuta, mtoto wao ndiye anakuja kukupea strength in the Lord. This is a very funny kind of a friend and a very special friend. Who can do that? Ati baba yako anakutafuta, anatafuta adui yake, na wewe kama mtoto wake unaenda ku conspire with the person your father is looking for. It is not easy. Bwana asifiwe. And Jonathan anakutana na wale watu anatafuta David na hawaambii chochote, hawaambii ameona David. If you read the whole text, you will see that. David meets with the people who are looking for, Jonathan meets with the people who are looking for David. And he cannot say something. And he goes home to his father's house. Na ananyamaza as if he knows nothing. Na anajua mahali David yuko. Do you have a friend like Jonathan? Hebu kaa chini, ita marafiki wako wote mkutano kwa kichwa. Just 5 minutes. Washikashike your friends. Walete pamoja. Umewashika? Kwanza, do you have a friend to start with? Unajua unaweza kuwa hata rafiki una, kwa hivyo una hata wakushika. Think of those friends that you call your friends. Walete pamoja. Among them, chagua Jonathan. Bwana asifiwe. How many of us have a Jonathan? He loves you. Jonathan is a friend that loves you, helps you find strength in God, and consoles you. Because ile wakati anakuta David Horesh, anamwambia relax. You will be the king. Don't be afraid. Bwana asifiwe. Anakukonsole, anakupatia motisha that you, however much you are in problem, you will still be the king. Do you have such a friend? Mwenye ukiwa ICU na watu wote wamekataa kuja kukuona, anakuja yeye, anakuombea. Remember, who you see relative? This is not your sister or brother. It's just another friend here. I love today we have a lady mwenye ni Jonathan. Thank you, ma'am. Mumesikia ushuhuda hapa? Shosho gave an ushuhuda. Na akasema kuna mama amemtekea care. I guess mama si relative wake. Mama, are you her relative? Remember, mama is not her relative. Shosho amepeana ushuhuda. Ama mjasikia? Shosho amepeana ushuhuda. And those are the best ushuhudas that we want these days. Unaambia mtu kitu akiwa hai. Si ungojee kwa kaburi ndio unasema alikuwa. Why are you telling us all that? If nilikuwa, why can't you tell me now? Why are you waiting for that day? Shosho asanti. Because ya kuambia mama amekusaidia tukisikia. That is a very good testimony. Few of us, tuko na watu wanaweza peana ushuhuda wetu tukiwa hai. Have you ever attended burial mpaka ukasikia kama utaenda nyumbani uache hiyo mazishi? Vitu mingi zinasemwa mrefu. What for? Why do we say these mrefu things in the burials? Alikuwa anaimba kwaya, alikuwa hata anafanya. Tell us right now. The person who is singing choir properly, tell them they are doing a good thing. The person who is washing the church, tell them now they are doing a good thing. Don't wait until they are not here that you can tell them they are doing a good thing. So at least we are learning. Bwana asifiwe. Tumepata a confirmation of what we are saying today here. So, nilikuwa nauliza wangapi wako na rafiki kama Jonathan? At least Shosho wako naye. Wangapi wako na rafiki kama Jonathan? If we don't have a friend like Jonathan, pray that you get one. Because rafiki kama Jonathan si wa kwenda kutafuta ati umwambie wewe nataka ukue my Jonathan. No. Jonathan comes yeye mwenyewe. You can also be a Jonathan in somebody's life. Are you a Jonathan in somebody's life? Aya sawa, wewe una Jonathan. Are you a Jonathan in somebody's life? If you are not, It's a wake-up call. Be a Jonathan in somebody's life. Bwana asifiwe. As I said earlier, muende musome 1 Samuel 18 from 1 all the way, because it's a long, long story. Finally, tuko kwa the third friend. Ni mnaona kama the third friend ni nani? Jina yake inaanza na N. Nani? Nelson. At least mchungaji unaona uzuri ya kuwa na mchungaji kwa kanisa. Mchungaji is saying Nathan. Bwana asifiwe. Please let's clap for mchungaji. Mchungaji is saying Nathan. Kirinyaga is not near. If you can come from Kirinyaga and tell us Nathan, hiyo ni muujiza. Bwana asifiwe. That is very good. Thank you, man of God. The third friend is Nathan. Do you have a Nathan in your life? And what did Nathan do? Nathan alifanya aje? Nathan is the friend that tells you the truth using wisdom. Bwana asifiwe. Unajua kuna mtu anaweza kukuambia ukweli ukufe saa hiyo hiyo. Depending na anakuambia hiyo ukweli aje. You cannot approach someone mwenye is grieving na umwambie mtoto wako alikufa. Casually like that. Bwana asifiwe. There are things we don't do. You have to be a friend with a lot of wisdom in your head. There is a way you say things. There is a way you place things. And how did Nathan place whatever he was saying? Let's see 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 11. Okay, 2 Samuel 11 inaelezea the story of David and Bathsheba. We all know the story of David and Bathsheba. What happened? We know the story. Bathsheba, bwana yake alienda kwa vita. And then King David remained kwa nyumbani, ama nyumbani. Na akaona Bathsheba akioga. One thing led to another, as we say. One thing led to another, until the another became another. That is how David landed here in this problem. Bwana asifiwe. I'm shortening the story of what Bathsheba and David did. We all know what they did. And we know David killed the husband to Bathsheba. And finally, David took Bathsheba as mke wake. And Bathsheba became pregnant. We know the story. Na kama hatujui the story, please let's go to 2 Samuel 11. We read the whole of it because the whole story is there. But what I want us to see is about Nathan. After David amefanya ile sarakasi yote alifanya na Bathsheba, Nathan alitumwa na Mungu kwa David. Na the story inapatikana 2 Samuel 12. One all the way. Allow me read this one. The Lord sent Nathan to David. When he came to him, he said, there were two men in a certain town, one rich and another one poor. The rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle, but the poor man had nothing except one little old lamb he had bought. He raised it, and it grew up with him, and his cup, and even slept in his arms. It was like a daughter to him. Now a traveler came to the rich man, but the rich man refrained from taking one of his own sheep or cattle to prepare a meal for the traveler who had come to him. Instead, he took the old lamb that belonged to the poor man and prepared it for the one who had come to him. David burned with anger against the man and said, Nathan, as surely as the Lord lives, the man who did this deserves to die. He must pay for that lamb 4 times over because he did such a thing and had no pity. Then Nathan said to David, you are the man. Bwana asifiwe. Wewe ndio umefanya hii makosa tunasema. This is what the Lord God of Israel says. I anointed you king over Israel and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. Bwana asifiwe. David anakumbushwa sasa. Remember David Mungu amemu protect from Saul, from all the people who are following him. But David now have forgotten. Amekuwa king, he has started misusing his powers by taking the wife wa one of his soldiers. Bwana asifiwe. Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in the eyes? You struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword and took his wife to be your own. You killed him with the sword of the Ammonites. Now therefore, the sword will never depart from your house. Bwana asifiwe. Nataka sasa tuanze kumark Bible yetu Now therefore, the sword will never depart from your house because you despised me and took the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your own. This is what the Lord says. Out of your own household, I am going to bring calamity upon you. Before your very eyes, I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you, and he will lie with your wives in the broad daylight. Bwana asifiwe. Hapo shade na red kabisa. Usiandike hata na blue. Hapo fanya hivi kabisa. The Bible is yours. Shade kabisa. What is about to happen to David? Wacha nirudie tena ndio tusikie vizuri Why, naanzia 9. Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in his eyes? You struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword and took his wife to be your own. You killed him with the sword of the Ammonites. Now therefore, the sword will never depart from your house because you despised me and took the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your own. Number 11. This is what the Lord says. Out of your own household, I am going to bring calamity upon you. Before your eyes, I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you, and he will lie with your wives in a broad daylight. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a friend like Nathan? Nathan anajua vizuri what you have done. But hakuji direct akiwa amekwambia aje mulifanya nini na the wife of Uriah. He doesn't do that. Anapita kona, anapeana example ya mtu alikuja na mbuzi na kakataa kuchinja yake mingi. You've heard the story He's using wisdom. Kwa sababu anataka kusoma psychology ya David. Wewe umefanya hivi na uoni kama ni makosa. But makosa ya mtu mwingine unaona ikiwa makosa. Bwana asifiwe. That is what we do here in the church. We see other people's mistake more than our own mistake. Do you do that? Tunaona makosa ya watu wengine sana kuliko makosa yetu wenyewe. That is what David was doing. Yeye mwenyewe haoni kama amekosea Mungu because he's the king. Yeye anaona like he's exercising his own powers. Bwana asifiwe. But he's exercising them in the wrong way. Ama nyinyi mnaona alifanya vizuri? He's doing the wrong thing. To make the matters worse, he kills Uriah. Afadhali hata angeachia kwa whatever he had done previously, asiongeze kuua nani? Kuua Uriah. It would have ingekuwa afadhali, it's arguable. But now that he killed Uriah, aliharibu kabisa. And the Lord sends Nathan to David. Na anamwambia, you have forgotten what God did to you previously. Remember, Saul was looking for you to kill you, but I protected you from Saul and his army. But wewe umekuwa king sasa, you have forgotten what I protected you from. Umeanza sarakasi na vituko. Now, this is what is going to happen in your house. Akampatia masharti. Tumesikia that the sword will never depart from your own house. One of the people in your family will lie with your wife in mchana. Day broad light in mchana. Yes, mchana. It will not be a secret. And true to his word, immediately Nathan left. Wacha tuendelee kidogo you hear. Tulikuwa number 11. Let's go to 12. You did it in secret, but I will do this thing in broad daylight before all Israel. Then David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die. At least yeye amesamehewa hata kufa. But because by doing this, you have made the enemies of the Lord show utter contempt, the son born to you will die. After Nathan had gone home, the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife had bore to David, and he became ill. Bwana asifiwe. Nathan hata hakuwa ameenda mbali. The child mwenye David na Bathsheba walizaa died. Bwana asifiwe. Tukiendelea kidogo na tusome 2 Samuel 13 chapter 1, usome yote, utakuja kuona the consequences that happened at David's house. Number 1, kuna kijana anaitwa Amnon. Alikuwa na dada yake anaitwa Tamar. Amnon raped Tamar. That is the first calamity. Watoto wawili wa mtu mmoja, they are raping each other. Bwana asifiwe. Mumeshika mali hii story mutatoa. 2 Samuel 13 from 1 all the way. If you read the story, ni story mrefu iko na story mingi, that's why I don't want to read now. Tukianza kusoma saa hii labda tufanye kesha today. It's a very long story. Because itatoka chapter 13, iende 14, iende 15, but you can read at your own time. Amnon raped his sister Tamar. That is the first calamity that fell at David's home. Number 2, Absalom. Absalom was a son to David. Akataka take power ya baba yake as the king. And if you read that 2 Samuel 13:1 to going on, utakuta Absalom alichukua the concubines wa babake, mabibi wote wa babake, akaenda kwa rooftop ya nyumba, and he slept with them there at the rooftop. Mmeshangaa? Ama tusome hapo ndio muamini? Can we read there? Tusome ndio ikue the gospel of truth. Let us read. Najua mnaweza sema leo Grace amekuja na mastori hapa mingi. Hata tuelewi anasema aje. But it's a long story. Before we get there, it's a long story. Bwana asifiwe. But if you read there, 2 Samuel from 12 all the way, then 2 Samuel from 13 all the way, utapata what Absalom did. He slept with the father's concubine, ama wives, at the rooftop ya nyumba ya babake. Hebu tuone 2 Samuel 20. 2 Samuel 20. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a friend like Nathan? Uko na rafiki kama Nathan that can tell you the truth using wisdom? Bwana asifiwe. How many of us wako na rafiki kama Nathan? Hey, Nathan hakuna. Nani yako na marafiki wote watatu? Samwel, Jonathan plus Nathan together. Nani yako nao? Nani yako na marafiki all combined? Samwel, Jonathan, Nathan put together. Do you know you can have one friend that can have all the qualities of Samwel, Jonathan, and Nathan, which is a very rare kind of a friend. Bwana asifiwe. Proverbs 27:5-6. Hebu tuweke Proverbs 27:5-6. Proverbs 27:5-6. Lawama ya wazi ni heri kuliko upendo uliositirika. Put it in English. Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Bwana asifiwe. Afadhali mtu anakuambia mambo ukweli kwa uso kuliko yule anajificha akijifanya anakupenda. Bwana asifiwe. And those are the very many friends that we have. If Nathan and David were friends, maybe David angeprefer Nathan asimwambie ukweli, afunike maneno isijulikane, isn't it? And that is what we do to our friends in the name of tunafunika rafiki yetu. Are we helping them? We are not helping them. It is better. Rudisha tena Proverbs 27:5-6. That better is open rebuke than hidden love. There is a saying that goes, wounds, yani vidonda, from a sincere friends are better than kisses from an enemy. Bwana asifiwe. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than kisses from an enemy. Because the enemy will keep on kissing you. Ndio watu waone mko. See, a kiss is related to love. Ama to mambo mazuri. They will kiss you in public to show you that you are friends. But huko nyuma ni adui. Lakini rafiki hata kuchekesha, hata kukiss, hata kuambia ukweli. You are not doing the right thing. Take it or leave it. That is what a friend is all about. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a friend that tells you the truth? Anakuambia mienendo unayotembea nayo sio mizuri. That is a friend. Bwana asifiwe. Now, as I finish, because of time, nataka kuwapatia maswali matatu. Kila mtu aende ajiulize as you meditate throughout the week. Can you make someone realize himself or herself? Can you? Wewe kama mtu unaweza fanya mtu ajijue. Mtu ajijui, can you make someone ajijue? You as an individual. Number 2, are you able to show love and compassionate till the last minute, however tough the situation may be? Unaweza kuonesha mtu mapenzi na uzuri ama na huruma mpaka dakika ya mwisho, hata kama hali yenye yako ndani sio nzuri. Umewahi kuwa na marafiki mtu ako na cancer or ako HIV positive? Have you ever had such a friend? Ama wenyu hajai kuwa na cancer? Have you ever had a friend who is HIV positive or has cancer na amelazwa hospitalini? If you have never, just go to PGH. Kuna ward for such patients peke yao. If your friend happens to be in such a situation, unaweza taka mkuwe associated na yeye. Because mwili wake utakuwa umedhoofika sana. Kweli, macho yake yatakuwa ametoka nje. In short, hana good appearance. Would you still go to the bed of that person and say, this was my friend? Bwana asifiwe. Assuming you are a CEO in a company, would you walk in that bed with your suit and you carry 2-3 friends and tell them, this is my friend? However bad or good he may look, he is my friend. Bwana asifiwe. Do you have a friend who have ever been arrested? Mumewahi kuwa na rafiki akashikwa? Na maybe akakuwa sentenced for many years, maybe 10 years, 15 years of a robbery or rape or something. Do you go to see that friend? Ama urafiki iliisha the day they were sentenced? Can you go today to commit prison and say, so and so is my friend, I came to see them? Do you have that energy? Do you have that zeal to go and see that person because she was a friend. The only thing that has a difference ni ati yako kwa hali mbaya. Bwana asifiwe. But the friendship should remain. Do you have such a friend? Mwenye yako kwa shida, mwenye unaweza enda kesho umuone. Do you have a friend mwenye yako hospitali ameshindwa kulipa bill? Do you go to encourage even if you cannot pay the bill? Unamwambia it is well. Bwana asifiwe. What happens most of the time? Marafiki zetu wakiwa kwa shida tunajiondoa. Same case to us. Hata sisi wanajiondoa wanatuacha, si ndio? So tunafanya tit for tat. No, we are not supposed to do that. It's a wake up call. If you have a friend, kama uko na rafiki mwenye ako katika hali fulani, you are being reminded today kuwa rafiki kama Jonathan. Baba yake anataka kuua David, but yeye anasimama na a stranger. So number 3 question. Can you say the truth, however painful it may sound? Unaweza sema ukweli hata kama ile hali unasemea ukweli ni mbaya sana. Can you tell someone the truth? Umwambie hauendelei vizuri na hii ndio ukweli, na ukiendelea hivi unapotoka ama umepotoka tayari. Can you do that? If you can't, you need to pray for yourself that God gives you the grace to be able to do that. What type of a person are you? What type of a friend are you? Are you the Samwel? Are you the Jonathan? Are you the Nathan? Or you are all in one? Bwana asifiwe. At least today someone has homework. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Thank you for giving me your time. Again, I said I'm Simaloi Grace, and I love the Lord, and I'm happy to have been the preacher of today.